So where we left off last time is we did military balloons. Is where we left off last time. And the first time balloons were used in conflict were 1794, but they were only used for observation. You know, telescopes, binoculars, holler downstairs. Maybe they used telegraph to tell people down where the bad guys were, and then they'd shoot their cannons way over on the other side of the hill and kill all the bad guys, right? Because everybody on the other side of the war, they're the bad guys, right? Isn't that the way it works? Well, as long as you win the war, then obviously you were the good guys and everybody else is the bad guys. Isn't that the way it works? No, that's definitely the way it works, because then you get to write the history books. All right, so there was a picture or a drawing. So let's talk about ballooning in the 1800s. So that first century of ballooning was the 1700s, so now the second century of ballooning is the 1800s. And most of this was just showing off. They would have exhibitions, they'd have world fairs, and they'd have people going up in balloons and go, woohoo, that's cool, and drink champagne and stuff after they landed. And it was cool, especially at that time when the best thing you had going was a train. There were a few long-distance flights, and they did try to take some balloons to the North Pole, but they failed. The problem with balloons is that, does anybody know what the problem with balloons is besides Jonathan? There's several problems, but why could balloons not get to the North Pole very easily? Well, if you used hot air, the hot air would get cold, and then you would descend and land. That's true. What else? Pardon me? Yeah. They only move with the wind. How often can you take off out of England and the wind blows you straight to the North Pole? Not very often. So that's my first guess. Why balloons, even if they were a hydrogen balloon, couldn't get to the North Pole? Because you can't predict the wind, especially in the 1800s. How well was weather prediction in 1800s? Pretty lousy. So that's a good reason why people couldn't get to the North Pole. Now, it was back in the 1700s with Napoleon, the first time anybody used a balloon as a military piece of equipment. But finally, we're going to start killing people from balloons in 1849. And just to be really clear, I make it sound like it's really exciting and stuff. Has anybody in here ever killed anybody? Yeah, me neither. So I had this job one time for 8 years, or that was my job. Well, actually, the last 5 of that 8 years. It was my job. I trained to drop nuclear weapons on people and kill millions of them at the same time, all at once. I'm not kidding. That was my job. I had a job. How many nuclear warheads can you put on a B-52? 24. Yeah, 24 nuclear warheads. You can put 4 bombs, 8 short-range attack missiles, and 12 airlock cruise missiles. That's a lot of nukes. So don't get me wrong, I had this job where I trained, and yay, I never had to do it. Never killed anybody. Yay. Practice. So I don't like killing people. I'm not pro killing people. I'm against it. So I'm just trying to liven things up. So if it makes it sound like it's fun to kill people, my apologies, that's not my intent. So finally, this is more than 50 years after they started using balloons in observation. So it took them 50 years before they finally decided, you know what, we could drop bombs with this thing. If the wind's blowing that way and the bad guys are that way, we'll just let the rope out, and when you get over the bad guys, drop your bombs and we'll pull the rope back. Or maybe they just said, see you later, man, cut the rope, drop bombs in the right place, and I hope you go someplace you want. I don't know. So here, I think that's dropping bombs right there. I mean, that's not a great picture, but it's better than I could draw. Can anybody draw this well? I can't draw that one. All right. The United States Army, now let me rephrase that, the Union Army, because there were 2 armies inside. I guess they weren't united during the Civil War, were they? They were discontinuous, they were ununited. In any case, there was a Civil War in the United States. Anybody ever had Civil War history? First half of the 1860s. There was the Union, the North, and there was the Confederacy, the South. Anybody remember that? Well, you don't remember it from personal experience. Has anybody reincarnated and in previous life you were a soldier in one of the armies? Yeah, I mean, in any case, the Union Army, the North, had balloons, but they only used them for observation. But there was actually a group of people in the Union Army that had balloons starting at the beginning of the war in 1861. But based on what I have been able to find, nobody in the Union Army that was using balloons dropped bombs out of them. There is a great movie. You ought to see the one that's made in the 1960s. It's called Mysterious Island. It was written by Jules Verne in the 1800s. And it's the story of these Union soldiers that escaped, or these Confederate soldiers that escaped from a Union Army prisoner of war camp in a couple of, in a balloon, in a hydrogen balloon. And one or two Union soldiers get on board, and there's a big thunderstorm, and it blows them out to sea, and the balloon starts losing air, and they end up landing in the water right offshore of this mysterious island, and that's the end of the movie, and I won't give any of it away. So if you're into really old school, cheesy science fiction movies, Mysterious Island has a Civil War balloon in it. And here's an actual picture of a Civil War balloon from the United States from the early 1860s. It's not fully inflated. They haven't got it ready to go yet. But that's the best picture I could find. All right, let's go to the next century, the 1900s, and then into the 2000s. So that's a whole nother 100 years or so. Most of the ballooning that occurred, because, you get to 1903 and they start flying airplanes around and stuff. Balloons aren't so hot because they go with the wind. So airplanes are pretty awesome. So balloons don't just keep getting better and better and better. Most of the balloon usage in the 1900s, and still today, most balloon usage is just for sport, for fun. I'm not saying that's bad, but that's what it is. You have to have a pilot certificate, you get a private pilot certificate, you get a commercial pilot certificate, and fly balloons. And most of them now are hot air balloons because the hot air, you use propane. The propane's cheaper than buying helium. Does anybody remember in class what I said was the negative thing about hydrogen? What's that? When you breathe hydrogen, your voice doesn't change. So would it be fair to say that's why nobody uses hydrogen in balloons anymore? They only use helium in the balloons because everybody wants to make a big couple of hits off. Is that why people don't use hydrogen anymore in balloons? You think that's the biggest reason why people don't use hydrogen? Anybody have a guess what the biggest reason you don't use hydrogen? Hydrogen burns really well. It burns. In fact, we're going to talk about hydrogen burning before today is over, I think. So most of it's hot air balloons. There's actually, it's hard to see, but they usually have a propane tank or two, and then at the top of the gondola, they have burners. You pull the handle, it hits a spark, you catch the propane on fire. Hot air fills the balloon, and hot air is less dense than cold air. It doesn't rise because it's hot. Hot air balloons rise because the air inside of it is less dense than the air on the outside. How do you make it less dense? You heat it up. But hot air doesn't rise because it's hot. Hot air rises because it's dense. The molecules bounce around and make the air expand. So now that same cubic foot goes up 3 cubic feet. Hot air balloons, I'm going to make up a guess that they've probably gone past 50,000 feet. The balloons that have gone the highest have used helium or hydrogen, and they've gone past 100,000. In fact, the world record for parachute jumping, they all use, I think they use helium. And got past 100,000 feet. Can you imagine that? There's this one guy, he actually, before 60, trapped himself in a balloon. He wasn't even in a can or a gondola. And you're just like hanging there the whole time looking up, going, that is scary. I like doors. I like seatbelts. And I put on a seatbelt and take off the door. I'm fine. You're just hanging out there, just like going, I don't know. That would bother me. But hey, so what does that tell you? I'm probably never going to volunteer to be a 100,000-foot balloon parachute jumper. Not that they would take me, because I'd have to wear like 2 parachutes to get me to the ground. All right, so here's a picture of somebody that's inflated a balloon. You can go online and watch videos, but they usually get a big giant fan that's driven by a 3 to 5 horsepower lawnmower engine that blows air into the balloon and kind of half inflates it, just full of regular air. And then they fire up the propane and they blow hot air into it. The problem is you've got to watch out because the fabric It doesn't catch on fire, but it's negatively impacted by heat. So if you get the fabric too hot, it gets weak. And nobody likes a balloon that gets weak. So you got to be careful that you don't aim the flame at the fabric. And then the balloon will rise itself up. And then, of course, you got it tied to the ground. You put a bunch of people in it. You keep it going on the propane, and then you untie it and you take off and you go woohoo, or some other such language. All right, here's a record. The very first manned balloon to cross the Atlantic was in 1978. I don't care if you remember the name. The first manned balloon across the Atlantic was in 1978. Does anybody remember 1978? Hell, I was like 60 years old in 1978. It was a double Eagle 2, so you don't have to write down double Eagle 2. Don't write it down, because then you'll just have to try to remember something. There's a nice picture. Went across the Atlantic. These people went up so high to get into the jet stream. You get up past 30, 40,000 feet, you might find the jet stream, you get 100 to 150 mile an hour wind. The problem is at 30, 40,000 feet, you either have to be in a pressurized vessel, or you got to wear oxygen. So that's the downside of going up that high. You got to carry more, but then you can go fast. The first manned balloon flight around the world happened in 1999. How many people were born in 1999 or earlier? Okay, one person. All right, so right around your birth year. You don't have to write down Breitling Orbiter 3, but the first human to fly around, and they went nonstop. This is nonstop. This is around the world nonstop. And there's a picture of it. I think there's a couple of people in there. Looks like it's made out of aluminum foil. I don't know. I didn't memorize that. But if you want to bring that to class, we'll all write it down, and then I'll make it a test question. I'm just kidding. I won't make it a test. I don't know. I'm going to guess several around the world. I'm going to guess 3, 4, 5 weeks. So, yeah, you better engineer the bathroom pretty well. And nobody flew up there and threw bottles of water and food at it. So they had to take off with all the water and all the food they needed. So if you took off next to a helicopter, the wind off the helicopter blades would blow it around. And then the highest manned balloon flight occurred not very long ago, 135 stinking thousand feet. See how I didn't say the F word? I'm trying not to do that. 135,000 feet. Oh, I didn't have a picture of it? Oh. Okay, and the highest parachute drop, 106,000 feet. I think I got a picture of that. Oh, I got a video. Are you laughing at me laughing, Rodrigo? That's okay. You can laugh at me laughing. I don't know. Where'd it go? Yeah. I know you want to get all the answers right on the test, huh? Highest manned balloon flight, 135,906 feet in 2014. And the highest human parachute drop. And darn it, I didn't write what year it is. They kept in the last decade, 2 or 3 people have gone up and gone another 1,000 or 2,000 feet. I think it was Baumgartner, one of the guys at Red Bull. They have Red Bull race and stuff like that. They make this energy drink that's full of sugar and caffeine. It's got like 10 times the caffeine in coffee. So it's really, really good for you. Your heart is just so I was drinking about 5 Red Bulls every day, or not even I'd say a healthy break. Drink 5 glasses of water and have a cup of coffee in the morning. But that's just my opinion. If you want to talk about health and energy drinks, let me know. All right, for some reason I can't seem to open this. Oh, there it is. So this is the Red Bull guy. So he actually had a capsule he was in. He's almost going to jump out. I think there's a couple more pictures in. Here's a picture of him with a wide-angle lens in there. I think he's watching that reruns of Star Trek, I think is what he watched. I'm just kidding. He probably wasn't watching Star Trek. There's what it looked like. Yes, that's a big old honking helium balloon. Very thin plastic. Yeah, I don't want your newsletter. It gets bigger because that pressure on the outside gets less. So the size of the balloon gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So you got to have a lot of slack in it when you take off from sea level. Otherwise, it'll burst. There, I think that's after the gondola left. I'm not sure. 106,594 feet. What? A couple hours to get there? Yeah, that sounds about right. There's a picture right after he jumped. Woohoo! You know he was saying woohoo. What would you? There might be other words you might say. Can anybody think of any words that aren't naughty words? Nope. You'd all be saying naughty words on the way down. Holy mackerel! And there he goes at the end. Just regular parachute. Yeah, regular parachute. Yeah, well, 100,000 feet is 20 miles. 100,000 feet is 20 miles. So if you're going up at 10 miles an hour, within a few hours, you go 20 miles. How much what? Well, when you jump out, you don't have anything to take first. I think I was remembering that to supersonic, the first person to supersonic mountain. But when you look at, like you got to keep it every year, you can go supersonic. But how cool is that? You're going like 700 miles an hour. Okay, just for fun, how many people in here? How many people in here? If you had the right training to do this correctly, how many people would do it? Because you could totally attract people of the opposite sex, right? Well, why, yes, I did go supersonic. I went 872 miles an hour. Why, yes, I did that. You wouldn't have to say it with that voice, but you could. You would say it with that voice? Well, yes, I would say it in that voice.